The objective of the labor inspection is to further strengthen the implementation of the visitorial and enforcement powers under the Labor Code as renumbered, towards securing a higher level of compliance with labor laws and standards and ensuring continuity and sustainability of compliance at workplaces. For this purpose, the Department of Labor and Employment delegates this function to the regional offices with the issuance of a list of labor inspectors who are given the authority of conduct inspection, which covers all private establishments, including their branches and workplaces in the regions. The regional offices enforce labor laws and social legislation through the conduct of labor inspection, occupational safety and health investigation, and technical and advisory visit. Special inspections may be conducted as may be deemed necessary. With the provision for mobile devices and gadgets, the DOLE developed an inspection management information system. An important feature of the system is data capture and transmittal from the field in real time, as an electronic checklist is filled up through the use of mobile devices and gadgets. Data are instantly available for viewing and processing to generate reports, statistics, and summons, including real-time monitoring of decent work indicators based on the country's decent work profile. The TAV, or Technical and Advisory Visit, aims to provide assistance to the micro-establishments, or establishments that have 1 to 9 employees, to be sustainable, productive, and competitive. It also aims to transition our micro-establishments to the formal economy that is profitable, while also complying with our labor laws and occupational safety and health standards. There are different ways or modalities to avail TAV. First is the online method. Establishments can enroll in the self-paced technical and advisory modules through our learning management system. For establishments that opted to go with online, they must accomplish the modules within 1 month from the time they registered. Second is on-site. The DOLE regional, field, and provincial offices conduct on-site or face-to-face orientation for the technical and advisory services, wherein micro-establishments are invited to attend. Third is hybrid setup. Establishments can enroll in on-site sessions and attend virtual meetings or webinars using various online platforms like MS Teams, Viber, Skype, Zoom, or Google Meet.
Establishment owners carry a big responsibility to comply with labor laws, including submitting reports and providing documents like payroll records during inspections. But the manual filing process is a major challenge. They need to spend time, money, and effort to fill out forms and deliver them to the DOLE office, often dealing with traffic and delays. Sometimes, there's a long wait just to confirm if the report is accurate and complete. And it's not just employers facing difficulties. DOLE employees also struggle with limited manpower and the time-consuming task of reviewing and processing these reports. The time has come for change. What's required now is a more innovative, streamlined, and efficient process for handling compliance reports. One that will simplify life not just for businesses but also for DOLE employees. Welcome to the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, your all-in-one platform for seamless compliance submissions designed to make compliance easier and more convenient for establishment owners. Telecommuting reports? Flexible work arrangement submissions? Reporting the 13th month pay? No problem. Even work accident or illness reports and the annual establishment report on wages, everything you need is now in one convenient portal. Plus, the DOLE Online Compliance Portal now includes the latest requirement for reporting movie and television shoots under Department Order 246, Series of 2024. All your compliance needs in one place, quick, secure, and hassle-free. With the DOLE Online Compliance Portal, registering your establishment is a breeze. Our automatic registration system ensures you are instantly compliant with OSH Standard Rule 1020. Once submitted, your certificate of registration is immediately available for download, saving you time and effort. If your establishment has been flagged for non-compliance during labor inspection, don't worry. Required documents can be submitted quickly and conveniently. And if you're missing certain policies, like a mental health program or OSH program, we've got you covered with downloadable templates. Submit these documents directly through the portal, where DOLE inspectors will review, provide feedback, and keep you on track for compliance. With admin access on the DOLE online compliance portal, the labor inspectors can easily review the submitted reports and documents from the establishments. If further verification is needed, they can schedule an online meeting through Google Meet, all within the portal. This streamlines compliance checks, saving time and making the process more efficient for everyone. It's a smarter, more efficient way to stay compliant and keep your business running smoothly. Welcome to a new era of compliance, simplified, fast, and effective with the DOLE online compliance portal.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Miyerkules na naman at hatid sa inyo ng Department of Labor and Employment, Bureau of Working Conditions, ang panibagong episode ng Webinar Wednesdays kung saan ating tatalakayin ang Guide to Employers and Employees Understanding the Statutory Leave Benefits. Atin pong pag-uusapan ngayong araw ang mga klase ng leave benefits na mayroon ng mga manggagawa at kung paano nila ito maaaring gamitin. Ako po si Kay Kapupus mula sa Bureau of Working Conditions, ang inyong host sa hapon na ito. So guys, settle in and get comfortable as we are about to start today's webinar. However, let us pause for a moment to pray as we seek the Lord's guidance, grace, and wisdom.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude for the opportunity to gather in this webinar. We thank you for the gift of technology that allow us to connect, learn, and grow even from afar. We ask for your guidance and wisdom for every speaker and participant, so that we may share valuable and inspiring insights. Help us listen with open minds and hearts, eager to learn from one another. Grant us clarity of thought and expression, making our discussions meaningful and impactful. We pray that this session fosters understanding, collaboration, and the sharing of knowledge that benefits everyone. May your presence be felt in our midst, encouraging a spiritual of unity and respect. We trust in your divine wisdom to lead us through any challenges or difficulties we may face today. As we conclude this time together, may we carry forward the lessons we have learned with a renewed sense of purpose and dedication. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon once again. Hello to our Facebook Live viewers. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 24 of our Webinar Wednesdays. Para po sa ating mga viewers, pa-heart and like react naman po ng ating Facebook Live if you appreciate our discussion at ready na po tayong matuto from our resource speaker. Pwede rin naman po ang wow react kung kayo ay napawaw ng ating speaker. O kaya naman ay care reaction to show us that you care and support our Webinar Wednesdays. We encourage our viewers to share this live stream and use the hashtag Webinar Wednesdays. You may invite your family, friends, and colleagues para mas marami pa po ang magkaroon ng bagong kaalaman. If you have questions or inquiries regarding today's topic, please post them in the comment section of this Facebook live stream. Rest assured that our resource speaker will address them after the lecture. Para umpisahan ang ating discussion at ipaliwanag sa atin kung ano ang iba't ibang statutory leave sa Pilipinas, we are privileged to have here with us this afternoon our esteemed resource speaker from the Bureau of Working Conditions. Everyone, please give a warm welcome to Ms. Sarah K. Juan. Ma'am Sarah, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Kay, for the introduction. So again, good afternoon po, everyone, and welcome to today's session on Understanding Statutory Leave Benefits, a guide for employers and employees. Again, I'm Sarah Juan, and I'll be your research person for this session. Our goal today is to provide you with a clear and practical understanding of the various leave entitlements provided by law, their requirements, and how they affect both workers and employers in the workplace. So our key objectives for today's session is, of course, number one, understand key types of statutory leave under Philippine labor laws. Pangalawa po ay yung clarify eligibility, duration, and compensation for each leave type. Third objective po is to provide practical guide for compliance and application. And of course, our main objective po for this afternoon is to address frequently asked questions and common misconceptions on the mandatory leave benefits po na dapat ay ma-enjoy po ng ating mga employees. So bakit daw po ba nagmamatter ang mga statutory leave benefits na ito? Leave benefits provides kasi or promotes work-life balance. They are essential in protecting the health, well-being, and productivity of employees, and they are also crucial in ensuring compliance with labor standards, reducing disputes, and promoting a fair and humane workplace. Of course, we have to ensure the protection of the rights of our workers by providing enough rest for them. And we also wanted to protect our employers so that they may avoid legal non-compliance and penalties, no? Kasi for every violation po, syempre merong mga kakailanganing litigation or mitigation pag hindi talaga nasusunod ang mga leave benefits or mandatory social benefits po ng ating mga employees. So, and lastly, ito po ay importante, this session encourages a healthier and more productive workplace. So, if we are already practicing this leave benefits po, kung nagpapatupad na po tayo sa ating mga companies dito, then we congratulate you for doing such a good job. However, for those naman po na struggling pa rin on how to comply with this kind of leave benefits, sana po ay makatulong itong session natin ngayon for you to be able to provide these benefits po sa ating mga empleyado. So what are the statutory leave benefits daw po na sinasabi ng batas? Of course, we have the service incentive leave, paternity leave, maternity leave, parental or solo parent leave, and leave for vowsy or violation against women and children, and lastly, the special leave for women. So later on po, maipapakita natin kung ano yung mga dapat malaman ng employers and employees on how to avail, kailan po siya binibigay, no? Ilang araw po ba ang kailangang leave na pwedeng ibigay sa ating mga empleyado. So later on, sa mga susunod na slides po ay makikita po natin ito. So, first po ay ang ating service incentive leave under Article 95 of the Labor Code of the Philippines as amended. So, ang sinasabi daw po dito, every employee who has rendered at least 1 year of service. So, if ever po ng ating mga empleyado ay naka-isang taon na sa serbisyo, siya po ay entitled na for the service incentive leave. Sino daw po ba or ano daw po ba ang mga conditions of entitlement? Ang sabi, dapat po employed siya at naka-isang taon na po siya sa kumpanya. At if ever po na mag-a-avail siya ng leave Ang paid leave daw po will be granted for 5 days. Okay. So, sinasabi dito na kung ito ay ini-enjoy na po ng ating mga empleyado, hindi rin po maiiwasan na may exception to the rule. So, sino-sino daw po ba ang mga exempted sa pribilehiyong ito? Unang-una, ang sabi ay ang mga government employees. Kasi under the Civil Service Commission, meron pong appropriate or tinalagang mga leave credits or leave benefits ang CSC sa mga government employees. Pangalawa ay ang persons in the personal service of another. Ibig sabihin po, sila po ay namamasukan sa, kunyari, isa po siyang kasambahay, isang personal driver, or bodyguard. So sila po ay hindi po makakatanggap ng service incentive leave na 5 days. Third and fourth po ay similar dahil sila po ay mga managerial employees or staff of the members of the managers or members of the managerial staff. Ang ibig pong sabihin nito, kaya po sila exempted kasi meron po silang flexibility sa kanilang work hours. So sila po ang nagde-decide kung kailan po sila papasok, ilang oras po ang pwede nilang trabahuhin, no? And may mga special accommodations and privileges po kasi na natatanggap ang mga managerial employees and managerial staff. Susunod po ay ang mga field personnel and those whose time and performance is unsupervised by the employer. So sinasabi po dito kung bakit sila exempted kasi hindi po kasi talaga nabibilang kung ilang oras ang kanilang tinatrabaho per day. Kaya po ay naging exempted po sila. So, to continue po for the exceptions, sinasabi po na ang SIL ay pwedeng hindi na rin maging, kung mayroong mga redundancy ng benefit, kung sakali pong ang inyong kumpanya ay nagbibigay na po ng 5 days PL and 5 days sick leave, yun po ay isang considered compliance na po siya sa service incentive leave. Provided po na ang 5 days po doon ay paid incentive, paid leave or pwede po siyang ma-convert into cash kung hindi po siya na-avail po. Okay? To continue, those enjoying vacation leave with pay at least 5 days. So as mentioned kanina, for those who enjoys na po yung mga vacation leave na at least 5 days, that is an equivalent na po for a service incentive leave. And lastly, those employed in establishments regularly employing less than 10 employees. So this establishment po na meron daw na 9 pababa na empleyado na regular na nag-hire po, hindi po siya dapat lalagpas palagi ng 10. So consistent po dapat na 9 and below or fewer yung mga empleyado natin if ever na we will apply for exception dito sa service incentive leave. Okay. So next, statutory leave benefits naman po natin ay ang maternity leave. So this is under Republic Act number 11210 and it stipulates na all female employees regardless whether married or unmarried shall be entitled to this maternity leave benefit. So ano daw po ba ang mga conditions of entitlement? So syempre female employee that has at least 3 months contribution to SSS in the 12-month period immediately preceding the semester of childbirth, miscarriage, or emergency termination of pregnancy. So, ibig sabihin daw po, meron siyang 3 months na hulog sa SSS bago pa man yung second trimester niya, bago pa man dumating yung second trimester niya kapag papalapit na po yung panganak niya. So, yun lang po yung conditions of entitlement. Dapat may 3 months of contribution sa SSS before coming into the second and third trimester of her pregnancy. Yun po yung importante. And of course, para ma-entitle po ang ating female employee, dapat meron pong notification sa kanyang employer. And for the probable date of delivery. So, ilan daw po ba ang duration of paid leave? Sinasabi po, before kasi 60 days lang siya. So dahil sa expanded maternity leave, nagkaroon po tayo ng 105 days po or 3.5 months equivalent na paid leave. Tapos kung tayo po ay nagkataon po na solo parent tayo, additional 15 days po for paid leave din po ito. So a total of 120 days para ma-qualify for the solo parent. And if ever naman po, kung sinama ang palad po na ang ating asawa or ating pregnant wife ay nagkaroon ng miscarriage, ito po ay magiging 60 days na lamang po for the duration of the paid leave. Kasi ang essence naman po kasi ng expanded maternity leave ay to provide yung care po no dun sa live childbirth. Pero kung hindi po kasi naging maganda yung result po ng pregnancy, ay mapuputol po talaga or iiksi po talaga ang ating leave benefit into 60 days. Okay. So, exceptions. So, kung meron po tayong mga entitlement, syempre meron din po mga exempted po no, sa ating pagbibigay ng benefits. So, sino-sino daw po ba yung mga exempted po sa ating mga leave benefits? So, maternity leave benefits. So, doon po daw sa number 1, yung mga distressed establishments. Ang mga categories po nito ay yung sole proprietorship or partnership, accumulated net loss of 25% for 2 years. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga kumpanya daw po na nalulugi nga, no, within the consecutive year po na 2 years, at 25% losses po siya for the 2 years po. Corporation or cooperative net loss of at least 20%. And bank or quasi-banks under receivership or liquidation. So sinasabi po dito sa number 1, lahat daw po ng mga naluluging kumpanya, nagbebenta na ng mga assets at nagbebenta ng mga assets para magbayad ng utang at siguro nagbebenta na ng mga assets para ma-dissolve na lang po yung company. Yun po yung number 1 na exempted sa pagbibigay ng maternity leave benefit. Second po are those establishments or retail service establishments na nag-e-employ ng fewer than 10 workers. So 9 and below workers po yung kanilang empleyado. To continue po for the exceptions, micro-enterprises and enterprises engaged in the production, processing, or manufacturing of products or commodities, including agro-processing, trading, and services, whose total assets is 3 million and below. So sinasabi po dito yung mga micro-businesses enterprise, ibig sabihin, ito po yung mga rehistrado sa City Hall, no? Sa ating mga for the BMBE, Barangay Micro-Business Enterprise. So, kapag meron po tayong valid na BMBE, tayo po ay pwedeng hindi magbigay dahil tayo ay na-exempt sa maternity leave benefits. And number 4, yung mga kumpanya rin daw po na nagbibigay ng similar benefits and under an existing collective bargaining agreement, company practice or policy. So kung meron na po silang binibigay na 105 days, tapos meron lang silang ibang term for the expanded maternity leave, that will be considered as compliance na po for the maternity leave benefit. So dahil po nagkaroon po tayo ng additional na benefit, no? So meron kasi tayong benefit from SSS and meron din po tayong nakukuha sa employer natin. So ang sinasabi po natin dahil meron tayong mga advanced na hulog or meron tayong existing hulog sa SSS, kailangan din po nating malaman kung ano yung makukuha natin kapag meron tayong maternity leave benefit. So 105 days, ito pong leave benefit na ito ay dapat makuha prior sa pag-start ng leave natin. So most likely po, kapag nanganak na tayo or before tayo mag-maternity leave sa office, dapat nakuha na natin yung full pay ng ating leave benefits. So ang sinasabing full pay daw po, ang formula po nito ay yung SSS computed contribution or based on female workers' average daily salary. Later on po, ipapakita natin siya. Tapos, plus employers' contribution. Ito po yung contribution naman po na ito or computation naman po ito ng salary differential ay ipapakita po natin. So ano daw po ba yung full pay? Full pay is actually a actual pay of a worker na nare-receive from the employer for work done during regular days and hours, which must not be lower than the wage set by the Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board. This includes any allowances under company policy or a collective bargaining agreement if applicable. So dito po sa ating computation of maternity leave, meron po tayong mga dapat tandaan, no? Apart from sa full pay, no? As mentioned kanina, meron po tayong dapat tandaan na ang monthly salary credit at average daily salary ay manggagaling sa SSS po. Ibig sabihin, malalaman po natin kung ano yung mga monthly salary credit natin based on the table na ipapakita natin later. Tapos yung average daily salary, ipapakita rin po natin kung paano siya i-compute. So, para lang po ma-define natin yung monthly salary credit, it is a salary credit in the Social Security system, an income amount used to compute a member's contributions and benefits. It represents the member's declared monthly earnings, which determine how much they and their employer need to pay to SSS, and is also the basis for calculating SSS benefits. Yan. So, ito po yung sinasabi nating monthly salary credit. Ito po yung matrix. So, dun po sa, kung makikita po natin, merong compensation range, check po natin yung kung how much po yung nakukuha natin monthly. Tapos makikita po natin sa right column, no? Dito sa right side ng ating screen, yung monthly salary credit. So kung nag-range po ang ating salary from 10,000, so ang ating monthly salary credit ay 10,000. So this is to a maximum of 35,000 monthly credit. Wait lang po ha. Malaway lang po. Ayun. So, malaway lang po. Ayan. So, how to determine daw po ang ating maternity leave benefit? So, unang-una po, ano lang muna, dapat malaman natin yung full pay. Sa full pay, ang ating formula is, malaman po muna natin yung ating daily rate, yung factor na ginagamit, divide by 12 months, tapos times maternity period in months. So, as reflected here, ang ating daily rate, ay assuming po, no, ang female employee ay merong rate po na 645, tapos ang factor na ginagamit ng company ay 313, tapos ang maternity leave period po ay 105 days or equivalent to 3.5 months. So, if makikita po natin sa computation, 645 times 313 days divide by 12 months times 3.5. So, makikita po natin na 201,885 divided by 12 times 3.5 months is equivalent to 16,823.75. Tapos, i-multiply po natin siya sa 105 days. So, ang estimated full pay po natin na makukuha ay 558,883. However, meron pa rin po tayong kailangan computin para makuha po natin yung maternity leave benefit. So, for the computation naman po ng maternity leave benefit, ito naman po yung formula niya. Ayan. For the maternity leave benefit, assuming the formula computing for it as follows, yung monthly salary credit natin times 6 months. So dito 6 months, 6 months, yung identified natin dito na 6-month contribution, ito po yung mataas na monthly salary credit. Okay? Yun yung pipiliin natin dun sa 12-month period. Yung 6 months po na yon, titingnan po natin kung ano po yung mga matataas na monthly salary credit natin at yun po yung pipiliin natin. Tapos, i-divide po natin sa 180. Okay? After po nun, ita-times or i-multiply po natin siya sa 105 or yung days po ng ating maternity leave. So, yon. So, if assuming po ang ating monthly salary ay 17,000. So, ito po yung ating computation. So, 17,000 times 6 divided by 180 times the leave benefit po na 105. So, ang computation po niyan is 102,000 times 100, divide by 180 times 105. So, ang sagot po doon ay 566.66 times 105 and ang ating maternity leave benefit po ay 59,500. So, kung makikita po natin kanina, meron tayong 58,000, I mean, 59,000, ano nga to? Full pay natin is 58,883.125. Tapos yung ating maternity leave benefit naman po ay 59,000. 59,000 nga ba? 59,500. So makikita po natin dyan na hindi naman po yan, dalawang yan ang makukuha natin. Kasi doon po sa 58,000 na full pay, kailangan po mag-contribute pa rin po ang ating employee ng kanyang social insurances like the SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig for 3 months. Kasi, di ba po, 105 days tayong naka-maternity leave. So, ibig sabihin, 3 months po tayong wala sa work, pero meron po tayong full pay, no? Prior to ang tawag dito, leave. No? So, doon po sa 3-month period na yon, dapat po ay makontribute po natin yung makakontribute po tayo ng SSS Pag-ibig PhilHealth para po walang magiging lapses po or gap doon sa ating insurance contribution. So, kung sakali po na-identify po for 3 months, kailangan pong magbigay ng 760 for SSS, 840 for PhilHealth, and 200 pesos for Pag-ibig. If i-add natin to or i-less natin to sa 58,883, ang magiging full pay na lang po natin ay 57,033 pesos. Okay? So, kung sakali po, no, para malaman natin kung ano pa talaga, kung magkano ba talaga dapat ang makukuha natin, kung meron ba tayong makukuha ang differential pay dito sa ginawa nating assumption na contribution or salary, hindi na po, so kung makikita po natin, dahil meron ng deduction dun sa SSS Pag-ibig PhilHealth, ang ating differential pay na po ay negative. So, ibig sabihin, the SSS maternity benefit po is sufficient na po as our full pay, no? Ito na po yung talagang makukuha natin as maternity leave benefit. So, hindi na po, ibig sabihin, tama na po, no? Sapat na po yung pagkakaroon ng SSS benefit at hindi na po kailangan magbigay ng salary differential ni employer. Okay. So later on po, ipapakita po natin kung ano yung mga misconception na benefit, no? Kung mag-overlap ba ang maternity sa ibang benefit. So next benefit naman po ay ang paternity leave. So paternity leave is under Republic Act number 8187 and this requires all para ma-avail po ng ating mga husband ay dapat married ang mga lalaking empleyado. Okay? Yun po yung number 1 rule. Dapat po married and the condition of entitlement po ay dapat may trabaho siya within the period po na nagbubuntis ang asawa and is employed po, no, sa ating wife, sa ating sa isang employer. Tapos, syempre, dapat legally married. An employee at the time of the delivery of the child is employed and is legally married. Tapos, cohabiting po sila ng kanyang asawa. Ibig sabihin, magkasama po sa bahay. No? Kasi ang essence po kasi ng paternity leave ay tutulungan si Mrs. na mag-alaga ng kanilang anak. Okay? And of course, para ma-avail po natin ang ating paternity leave, dapat po na nakapag-notify po sila, no, sa kanilang employer. Yun. Tapos, at a reasonable period. So, dapat before po, nung nalaman pa lang po na nagbuntis na si Mrs., dapat ma-inform yung ating mga employer that sooner po na pag malapit na po yung kapanganakan or yung date of delivery ng kanyang asawa, ay mag-a-apply po siya ng paternity leave. And if ever naman din po na may instance na hindi naging successful yung pregnancy ng family, no, pwede pa rin po siyang mag-paternity leave para po maasistahan po yung ating asawa or yung kanyang misis sa pag-recover po if there has been a miscarriage in the family. So the duration of this paid leave is 7 days. It can be intermittent, no? It can be availed intermittent or can be availed ng dire-diretso po na 7 days. So, ang susunod po nating benefit is the parental leave or the solo parent leave under Republic Act number 11861. Employees who were left alone with the responsibility of parenthood can avail this kind of leave. So, kung kanina po, si father lang ang pwedeng mag-leave for 7 days, dito po either the mother or the father can avail this parental leave, or those who are left alone with the responsibility of parenthood. So ano daw po ba yung mga conditions of entitlement? Siyempre, dapat employed yung mag-a-apply po ng solo parent leave, no? And had rendered at least 6 months of service, whether continuous or broken, at the time of the effectivity of RA number 11861. Again, importante rin po na ma-notify din po yung ating mga employer of the availment thereof within a reasonable time. So, ano ba yung mga reasonable time? So, siguro at least a week bago makapag-avail ng entitlement na ito. And for this to be availed, kailangan po na merong solo parent ID na valid, no? Na ini-issue po ng DSW. So, meron po silang mga requirements on how to get the solo parent ID, no? You can visit their website para po sa mga requirements. And ilan daw po bang araw, no, yung ating parental leave benefit. So binibigay po ito ng 7 days. It can be availed po intermittent. So syempre, pag may mga emergencies, may mga meetings, kung meron kailangan ipatawag sa school, yan po yung mga purpose niyan. Kung bakit meron tayong parental leave, solo parent leave benefit. So ano daw po ba yung mga categories para ma-identify po na solo parent na or qualified ka to avail this solo parent benefit? So first po is a parent who provides solo parent care and support of the child or children due to consequence of rape. So nagkaroon ng anak dahil sa hindi magandang pangyayari or yun nga po, a consequence of rape, death of the spouse, detention of the spouse or service of sentence. Ibig sabihin po, nakasuhan at nakakulong po yung ating partner or asawa for criminal conviction, physical or mental incapacity of the spouse, legal separation, declaration of nullity or annulment of marriage, and abandonment of the spouse. So, ito po, parang nasa mag-asawa po yung category niya, no? So, it's either, or not, except for number 1. Tapos, to continue po, for letter B, spouse or any family member of an OFW or the guardian of the child or children of an OFW. So, if ever po na both parents ay wala po sa Pilipinas at nasa abroad, no, at meron lang pong nilagakan po na either anak din or kamag-anak, sila po ay pwede ring mag-avail po ng ating solo parent provided that they belong to the low semi-skilled worker category, and they are yun po yung ating mga sinasabing OFW ay hindi po makakauwi for a period of 12 months. So, uninterrupted period of 12 months. So, absent po sila talaga to take care of their children. Tapos letter C, unmarried mother or father who keeps and rears the child or children. So, if ever po na yun nga po yung mga hindi po kasal na lalaki or babae na merong inaalagaang anak or child. Any legal guardian, adoptive or foster parent, any relative within civil degree of or consanguinity or affinity of the parent or legal guardian. So hanggang kailan daw po ba yung mga fourth civil degree? No? So sa fourth civil degree on consanguinity, ito po yung mga first cousins, grand nieces, yung great grandparents, yung mga kung ako po, yung ako sa tuhod, yun pwede ko po siyang pwede po ako niyang maging guardian, no? And I can ng solo parent. So pagdating naman po sa mga affinity, no? Fourth degree of affinity, yun po yung mga spouses of a great grandparent, first cousin-in-law, yung spouses of a great aunt or uncle. So sila po yung mga pwedeng mag-avail po if they are still employed at nag-aalaga po ng mga anak po ng nasa or napaglagakan po na sila ang mag-alaga ng kanilang mga apo or pamangkin, sila po ay pwedeng mag-avail ng solo parent. And of course, yung mga pregnant women na wala pong partner or hindi po married or chooses to have a child lang po on her own and live without a partner. So sila po yung pwedeng mag-avail po ng solo parenting. So next, leave po ay ang ating leave for violence against women and children under Republic Act number 9262. So sinasabi po dito ang ating qualified ay female victim employee. So conditions of entitlement, kailangan lang daw po, syempre, employed yung ating female employee, no? Tapos meron siyang mape-present na certification of a pending action from the barangay, prosecutor's office, or the clerk of court. So, pag na-present po natin yun, pwede po siyang bigyan ng 10 days paid leave. So, yun lang naman po yung condition for the VAUC. Later on po, for the questions, mayroon tayong mga clarifications dyan. Again. So, for the last leave benefit is the special leave for women under Republic Act number 9710. This leave benefit entitles female employees who has undergone gynecological disorder. So ano daw po ba yung mga categories, no, ng gynecological ano yung mga categories na nagre-require sa pag-avail ng SLB or special leave benefits for women. So, dapat daw may gynecological disorder. So, kung sakaling na-diagnose ang ating female employee ng sakit, kanyari, myoma, na 9 centimeters na yung laki, 9 by 9 yung 9 centimeters by 9 centimeters na yung laki that requires surgical procedure, no? Yan po ay isang pwedeng ma-consider na pwedeng makapag-avail ng special leave benefit. So, syempre dahil nagre-require na nga ng surgical procedure, dapat talaga makapag-undergone siya ng surgery. So, ang mga procedures na ito could be hysterectomy or yung mismong pagtanggal ng uterus, ovariectomy, ibig sabihin pagtanggal ng ovary, and mastectomy, yung pagtanggal po ng breast kung sakaling meron po siyang sakit sa breast. Pero this does not limit po, no, na kung ito lang po yung nakita nating procedure, ay ito lang po yung mga gynecological surgeries that entitles the female employee. Meron po tayong listahan sa PCW, no, ng mga sakit na pwedeng maging para maging entitled po yung ating mga female employees for this kind of benefit. So, kailan daw po ba? Wait. So, yun. Conditions of entitlement. Again, the female employee has rendered at least 6 months, no, continuous aggregate employment for the last 12 months prior to surgery. So, at least dapat 6 months po ay nasa kumpanya na kayo. Has filed an application for special leave with her employer within a reasonable period of time. So, meron po kasi dito kung hindi pa po siya ganun ka-urgent na operation, pwede pong mag-notify po siguro a week before or kung kailan po talaga yung schedule na leave or surgery. And if ever naman po na stop or urgent po yung kanyang surgery at nauna po muna no, yung surgery bago yung pag-file ng leave, ay po pwede pa rin po siyang apply for this kind of benefit. So, ang duration po ng ating paid leave is up to 60 days per year. Hindi po automatic na 60 days agad pag nag-apply po tayo for this special leave benefit. So, this will be identified po by our competent physician. So, kailan daw po ba ina-avail ito? Ito po ay ina-avail for every surgery, for every instance of surgery due to gynecological disorder for a maximum total period of 2 months per year. So, yun po. So, ang key points po natin dito ay dapat 6 months po siyang employed within a period of 1 year. Tapos po, gynecological disorder po siya, hindi po siya brought by pregnancy, no? And can be availed po yung ating leave benefits for a period of 2 months per year. Yun. So, the period of paid leave for female employees shall be based on the certification of a competent physician regarding the required recuperation time. As mentioned nga po kanina na hindi automatic na 60 days yung binibigay ng ating leave benefit. So, sinasabi po dito na dapat, no, upon the discretion po ng ating OB, GYN, yung ating leave benefit. So, hindi po basta-bastang doktor, no? Dahil gynecological disorders po yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, hindi po siguro naaayon ng ating certification ay manggagaling sa internal medicine, sa orthopedic surgeon, no? Dahil iba pong specialization yung kanilang pinapractice. Although, yun nga po, lahat naman po ay ng doktor ay may kapasidad na mag-diagnose. However, for this kind of benefit po, kasi dahil gynecological disorders po, yung ating tinitingnan dito for the availment of this leave. So, dapat po ang ating doktor po ay OB-GYN. So, binanggit po natin kanina, no, baka may mga overlapping benefit po sa ating mga mandatory leave benefits. So, for example of this po ng ating mga confusion and overlapping na or misconception po sa pag-avail po ng leave benefit, yung special leave for women versus SSS sick benefit. So, yung ating sick benefit po with SSS ay different doon sa special leave for women na binibigay ng employer. Kasi ang SLB po ay granted by the employer under Republic Act 9710, while the SSS sickness benefit is administered and given by the SSS in accordance with the SSS law or RA 1161 as amended by RA 8282. So, yung overlapping leave, maternity, and SLB. Meron po kasing mga frequent questions dyan na paano daw po kapag ang ating female employee ay naka-leave, naka-maternity leave, no? Tapos, nagkataon po, during the maternity leave, meron pong nakitang sakit sa kanya, no? Na kailangan ding operahan. So, remember po, ang ating maternity leave ay 105 days. Kung sakaling pong masakop ng ating maternity leave, ang sinasabi nating surgery due to gynecological disorder, ang mag-prevail pa rin po na benefit dyan ay ang maternity leave. Lalo na po kung hindi po lalampas, no? Or masasakupin po ng maternity leave na 105 days ang magiging leave benefit na mape-prescribe ng ating OBGYN due to gynecological disorder. However, kung ang ating maternity leave naman po ay naglalast na lang, no? So almost consumed na yung 105 days natin. Kunyari, yung 100 days po natin ay na-consume na and meron po tayong natitirang 5 araw for our maternity leave. And dun sa period po na yon ay kailangan nating maoperahan. So ang remedy po dyan, yung differential po, no? Yung difference na lang po ng araw ng SLB ang maibibigay. So kung kung sinabi ng doktor ay kailangan mong mag-rest ng 60 days for your recuperation. So dahil naka 105 days na po tayo, 55 days na lang po yung difference SLB na pwedeng ma-avail po ng ating female employee kung kinakailangang mag-undergo po ng surgery. So, importante lang po ditong tandaan na dapat meron pong surgical procedure ang ating female employee, whether minor or major po yan, dapat po meron naging surgical procedure to avail this kind of benefit. So that would be my last slide for our statutory mandatory leave benefits. And thank you for your participation and cooperation on this session. Back to you, Ms. Kay.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah, for the meaningful and informative discussion on the different statutory leaves in the Philippines. We are now going to start answering the questions that were submitted by our viewers. For the first question, sabi po ng ating viewer is, Ma'am, paano po kung ang isang babaeng empleyado ay may reproductive illness pero hindi siya sumailalim sa operasyon? Pwede po ba siyang mag-apply ng Magna Carta Leave for Women?
Thank you, Ms. Kay. Yun. So, binanggit po natin na dapat may mga gynecological disorder, no? Yung ating female employees. However, hindi siya sumailalim sa operasyon. Another category for disavailment ay kailangan nagkaroon ng gynecological surgery. So, kung meron pong mag-a-apply ng Magna Carta at wala pong naging operation na nangyari, hindi po siya makakapag-avail for this kind of benefit. So, siguro sickness benefit lang po, no? Pero hindi yung gynecological benefit po ng SLB.
Okay po, Ma'am Sarah. Malinaw po. Okay po, for our next question, can an employer impose a limit on how frequently maternity leave can be availed? For example, if an employee becomes pregnant multiple times in 5 years. So may limit daw po ba?
Before po kasi parang 4 times lang po dapat tayo magkaroon ng pregnancy or live birth or basta gano'n, yung mga 4 times lang. Sa expanded maternity leave po kasi, wala na po, no, yung ating limit for number of pregnancy. So, kung tayo po ay mag-a-avail twice a month ng maternity leave, ay pwede po tayong mag-avail dyan kasi wala na pong unlimited na po ang pag-avail natin ng maternity.
Okay. Siguro yung tinutukoy ni Ma'am Sarah is twice a year. Halimbawa, nanganak na siya ng January and then sa December po.
Kasi hindi naman natin kaya magbuntis ng 3 beses dahil nangyayang lang po ito.
Okay po. Okay po, for our next question, can a common law husband avail of paternity leave if they are living together for years but not yet married?
Malinaw po sa ating batas, no, na for us to avail this kind of leave ay dapat married and cohabiting. So, tama naman, no? Living together. So, check siya dun sa isang conditions of entitlement. However, hindi sila kasal. So, siguro ang pwede lang maipasa sa kanya, ay yung additional 7 days po doon sa 105 days Pero the paternity leave in itself, dahil batas ito at kinakailangang merong legal document that proof na kailangan ay married, so hindi po siya makakapag-appeal ng paternity.
Okay, ma'am. So, kailangan kasal po.
Yes.
Okay po, for our fourth question. If an employee failed to notify the employer ahead of time for parental leave, can it be denied?
Dahil ano siya no, parang ano naman, dahil meron namang proof, no, ng ating solo parent. So, dapat hindi siya madi-deny on this kind of leave benefit. Kasi unang-una, hindi naman kasi malalaman kasi minsan emergency, 'di ba? Kunyari nagkasakit yung anak or yung pamangkin that needs to be ano agad parang taken care of agad dapat, and hindi siya makakapagbigay ng advance notice. Dapat hindi i-deny yung mga ganun kasi yun nga po yung purpose po ng parental leave, na kung if ever na may mga emergencies, yun po yung dapat na leave na dapat i-avail nila. Kasi unforeseen po kasi yung iba doon.
Okay po, Ma'am Sarah. Pwede naman siguro kahit later on na yung notification.
Yes.
Since emergency nga po na. Okay po, for our fifth question. Paano po kung di ako binayaran ng service incentive leave sa loob ng 2 taon? Pwede ko po bang habulin yung employer ko? So, ayun po yung tanong ng ating fifth viewer, Ma'am Sars.
Yes po, ang ating availment naman po ng SIL ay depende po kung kailan nyo po i-avail, no? Depende po sa empleyado. Kung ang empleyado ay hindi uma-absent, no, for the past 2 years, tapos nagkataon na naka-resign siya or magre-resign na siya, pwede niya pong kuhain yung 10 days na service incentive leave na yon as an additional monetary benefit. So, pwede po.
Okay po, malinaw. For our sixth question, if a female employee undergoes both miscarriage and gynecological surgery due to complications in the same period, is she entitled to both maternity and special leave for women simultaneously?
So, dahil ang ating maternity leave benefit is more than our special leave benefit, no? Ang normally, ang kinikerry dyan na leave benefit ay yung ating maternity leave. However, kung nagkaroon po ng miscarriage, no, 60 days. So, pareho kasi siyang 60 days yung magiging benefit nito. Kung ang miscarriage ay tumaon sa hindi. Kung ang miscarriage, syempre mauna yung miscarriage. Tapos yung gynecological disorder, nakikita na lang siya right after. So kung doon sa period ng miscarriage at doon sa procedure ng gynecological disorder ay magkakaroon ng overlapping days to get the benefit. So siguro maganda po na tingnan natin kung magkakaroon ng difference, no? Kung lalampas ba ang maternity leave benefit na 60 days doon sa recuperation period na ibibigay ng OB-gynecologist, na 60 days doon sa surgery na mangyayari. Kung sakali, ang ating female employee ay period ng miscarriage niya, kunyari, rest period niya na lang na natitira due to miscarriage is 10 days. Tapos nakita na may kailangan ng gynecological surgery. So, kung sinasabi ng doktor na kailangan niya ng another 60-day period na rest, so dahil nabigay siya or nakita siya within the same period, 50 days na lang po yung maibibigay na special leave benefit for women. Kasi nag-overlap na yung sa maternity leave benefit and doon sa gynecological a special leave benefit po doon sa ating female employee.
Okay po. For our seventh question, for our next question po, Pwede na po bang mag-file ng VAUSI leave habang inaayos pa lang ang Barangay Protection Order?
Binanggit po natin kanina na for us to avail this kind of leave ay dapat meron na tayong maipakita sa ating employer na certification na there is a pending action for a VAUSI or meron naging abuse or may naging violence doon sa kanilang relationship. So kung wala pa po or in process pa lang po yung certification, ay hindi po natin maipa-file yung VAUSI leave sa ating employer. Kasi kailangan meron pong proof of or certification from the barangay, prosecutor's office, or sa clerk of court po bago natin ma-avail itong leave.
Okay po, ma'am. So, mahalaga po talaga na merong certification.
Yes.
Okay po, for our next question. Pwede bang tanggalin ng empleyado habang naka-maternity leave kung may kasong misconduct? So, siguro nagkaroon ng misconduct yung female employee while on maternity leave. And pwede daw po ba siya tanggalin ng kanyang employer?
Okay. Kasi ang maternity leave naman ay hindi na benepisyo siya, no? Pero ibang kaso kasi pag nagkaroon ng misconduct mismo sa way ng pagtatrabaho. So this termination may be implemented provided na dapat ang ating employer or management undergone due process po bago po natin ma-confirm or ma-implement yung termination po ng ating female employee na naka-maternity leave. So pwede po nating tanggalin sa employment ang naka-maternity leave na employee kung meron po talagang misconduct or major offense na nagawa ang ating empleyado.
Okay po, Ma'am Sara. For our second to the last question na po. Pwede po bang mag-request ng extension ng special leave for women kung hindi pa po nakaka-recover ang female employee after niya po siguro mag-undergo ng gynecological surgery?
So kung ang 60 days ay hindi pa sapat, no, sa ating female employee, pwede naman po niya i-avail yung mga leave credits po niya na meron pa sa kanyang company. However, kung hindi pa rin po, no, sasapat yung natitirang leave credits, ay pwede pa rin naman po, no, mag-apply pa ng further leave request. Pero syempre, ang consequence nun, baka po unpaid leave na siya. Ang extension po naman na ito ay dapat manggagaling pa rin sa kanilang competent physician or the OB gynecologist po na surgeon. So, pwede pa rin naman po. Basta exhausted po yung mga leave credits and handa po sila na mag-leave na without pay na if ever.
Okay po, ma'am. For our last question na po, is VAUSI leave applicable if the abuser is not the spouse but a boyfriend, partner, or father of the child?
Yes po. Kung ang abuser ba nito ay yung babae, no? Parang sinasabing ganon. So, kung meron pong mga ganon at hindi kasi makakapag-speak in behalf yung child, no? So, dapat meron pa rin magre-represent sa bata, sa minor, especially kung minor siya. So, pwede po i-represent ng boyfriend or partner ng, tama ba, yung boyfriend or partner yung child para po ma-attest po na meron talagang abuse doon sa family. So, ibang case siya. So, kung babae yung nag-abuse tapos ang nag-report ay boyfriend or father ng child. So, kung ang abuse ay sa child, no, pwede pong mag-apply ng VAUSI leave ang kanyang father or yung boyfriend or yung partner.
Okay po, ma'am. So, isama ko na lang din po na yung boyfriend po ay boyfriend, partner, or yung father ng child, even if hindi po siya asawa, ay pwede pa rin po. Magiging applicable pa rin po yung VAUSI leave. So, ayun po. At maraming salamat po para sa inyong mga katanungan. At we still have more questions, but these questions will be answered by our social media team. Kindly check po yung ating comment section. Sinasagot na po ng ating mga kasamahan yung inyong mga tanong. For additional questions or inquiries, you may also send us an email at at bwc.dole.gov.ph. So I repeat, you may also send us an email at ask@bwc.dole.gov.ph, or you may call us through our Dole hotline at 1349. Please follow us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, and Viber at Dole BWC 1949 to stay up to date with the latest announcements and activities from BWC and Dole. On behalf of the Bureau of Working Conditions, maraming salamat po sa inyong pakikiisa at maraming salamat din po sa ating guest speaker or resource speaker for today kay Ms. Sarah. See you sa ating mga susunod na episodes. And once again, this is Kay, your moderator and host for today, signing off. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day po.
Para sa mga katanungan at karagdagang impormasyon, maaari po tayong tumawag sa Dole Hotline 1349 o sumuli sa mga Dole Regional Field Office na nakakasakop sa inyong lugar paggawa.